Well, good morning, Maverick traders. It is nice to see you. This is the May US payrolls report. All right, so let's jump into it here. We have not only the US payroll report, we also have the Canadian payroll report out at the same time. So really, we need to make a decision to: are we playing CAD for the employment report? Are we playing the US employment report? Or are we playing both? And I know today I'm going to be looking to trade both. I've been waiting for this day all week. This is going to be my first day actually making a Forex trade this week. I've been waiting, and look, I'm actually pretty happy about that because this week's been pretty low volatility, and it's been pretty compressed. And I mean, just to take a look at just the price action over the last little bit, the last, let's call it not 24 hours, but since the close last night. Take a look at the moves we've seen on the yen crosses. Dollar up 0.07. The biggest move has been the pound up 0.2%. That is just not that big of a move. It's just not. So volatility has been compressed, and because when volatility is compressed, it's hard to make pips. And so it really kind of stinks when volatility is compressed because you really are kind of captive to only making trades around major news announcements. And I think that's where we are at the moment. I think it's very difficult to make any sort of pips on any sort of technical move because we're just not getting any movement. We're not getting movement. So as a Forex trader, as a directional trader, we need movement. We need these moves. If you want to make a 0.5%, you probably need a full percent move to go in and grab a 0.5%. And when we're getting no moves, it's very difficult. So like I said, we're pretty much tied to trading around major news announcements. So let's dive in. I just sent out a trade alert. I just took a half position on CAD long. I went through all my research last night, and if you watched the daily update, I did it for Onket last night. I like CAD. I also like Swiss franc, and they're both, sort of okay. Swiss franc is actually a little bit weak, but we're talking about 0.08%. You see the Aussie dollar is actually the weakest currency right now. The Swiss franc is the second. Strongest currency right now is the pound. And then we've got Kiwi behind it. But I mean, we are plus or minus like 0.1% in pretty much all currencies. So everything is very, very flat here. So the hope, at least the hope I have, is that the Canadian employment report and the US employment report pushes things out of this range. So I'm going to be playing CAD to the long side against yen. So I've already got a half position on that, but I'm really focused also on the dollar. So you could play dollar CAD. You could play dollar CAD, and that would be a direct way to play both. But I actually wanted to break those out and say, I want to play CAD a certain way, and I want to play dollar another way. So the big question is dollar long, dollar short. I'm actually going to be setting up trades on both. Right now, the pound is the strongest, and the pound is the strongest for no real reason out there. Now, if we take a look at a basket of the pound, switching over to trading view, I'm going to go back over a 1 hour chart, and we can see the pound has been very weak lately, and we're getting this nice little, I can't call it a low base because we are sloping a little bit, but this is a really wimpy bounce off of a really big fall. So for me, for any of you that are really into technicals, this is called a bear flag. When you have a big move down and then you have this really, really wimpy move to the upside. So for me, I like pound short. So against dollar, I'm going to be looking to play pound dollar. So let's take a look at pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar, I want to look to play this short. And the big question is, okay, where is our entry? Where is going to be our entry price? And if I go back and I look and see, okay, where is this little trend here? I got this trend line that's right here. So I want to be below this trend line. I also have some pretty major support here right around the 126.85. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my order out there. 126.85. I'm going to be making a stop limit. 126.85. Now look, I am not going to be entering this before the announcement. I'm going to do what's called a second stage entry. If you haven't seen our session on trading news, you're probably not ready to trade news. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some orders out, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to get things ready. So when and if there is a move, I want to be able to take action. Now, I expect there to be a move off of the announcement, but really what I want to do is I want to wait for there to be follow through. So I'm looking to play, if on dollar long, I'm looking to play pound short. So again, I've got that order set up. I haven't transmitted it. And if I go back to, again, what am I going to look to play dollar short? Well, if I see right now, I've got to say probably yen, maybe Kiwi, but look, I want to keep this pretty simple here. I'm going to look at dollar yen. I'm going to look at prices on dollar yen. So again, for a dollar short, I'm looking at dollar yen. And I'm going to switch over to a hourly chart, and you're going to see we've had a kind of the same move that the pound had, big move down, and we're getting this little bull flag to the upside. So I'm going to be using this as well as an entry point, this little bull flag, to where I want to be down below this 108.15, to where that's going to be my entry on the downside. Now that's pretty far away, but again, it's just how I've got to do it here. I'm waiting for a big move, and I'm hoping for a big move. All right, so let's put in our stop limit. Again, I'm just getting orders ready. So 108.15. And again, I'm going to attach stops to them. I'm going to put them up above key technical levels. On this one here, if I get filled at 108.15, I want to get out based on this little resistance level back here from yesterday, which will support at this point. All right, so I'm getting my orders ready. We've got 3 minutes until the reports come out. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my second half. So again, I've got a half position here on CAD yen, and I've got my stop way down here. This is where I love half positions, because half positions are really nice because you can start off with a very, very wide spread. You start off with a wide spread. So what I want to do is I want to build my second half entry and just have it ready. So I want to buy this on a breakout of 81. Let's see, where is that as a buy stop? 81.34. All right. Okay, so again, I've got my buy stop ready, to where if it does trigger, then again, I want to get in here. So I'm actually going to make this one live. So I'm going to make my CAD yen trade live. And what that means is I'll basically just adjust my stop. Right now I've got my stop in for my half position size. If I get filled, I need to adjust my position size up to my position. And then I need to move up my stop. And I'm going to snug it right up below the bottom of this low base at 81.12. All right, so we've got a lot of stuff that's going on. And sometimes, Forex trading, you sit out for all week, and then all of a sudden it's literally going to be 10 to 15 minutes of some frantic activity. So I've got my CAD yen built. My CAD yen is basically going to take care of itself. The only thing I have to do if I get filled, I've got to go in, change my position size, snug up my stop. So what I really want to do is I want to be focused on my dollar trades. So again, I've got pound, dollar. I'm going to go ahead and just open up another chart here on dollar yen. So again, I'll have 2 charts ready for this. All right. All right, so we've got the move. So we did get the first move. We got CAD yen did get filled to the upside. All right, so let's go back to our CAD yen position. That did get filled. So what I need to do, I need to come down here. I need to adjust my position size, and I need to snug up my stop to 81.13. 81.13 is the stop. Okay, so CAD's looking good. Like I said, CAD's going to take care of itself. At this point, I'm going to go back and focus on what I'm seeing in dollars. So initial move down is dollar. So dollar to the downside. And I don't need to see what the numbers were to know that the numbers weren't all that great. So again, initial move on dollar is down. All right, so again, I want to make sure there is a move happening. So again, I don't have my order yet live on dollar yen. I'm waiting a little bit. A lot of times you get this whipsaw action on the Payroll report, where you get this short-term little move, and then things end up not having any follow-through. All right, so May payrolls were 75,000 jobs. That's much weaker than expected. All right, so again, I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes here, and I want to make sure that there is a true quote-unquote move in the dollar. I want to make sure that this is actually going to be a move that has some energy behind it, because again, I'm very wary of the market here as far as volatility, where we did get this is about a 0.3% move on the dollar. I want to make sure that there's more to it. Just checking numbers, CAD employment report was very good. Forecast was for 5,000 jobs, 27,000 were created. Unemployment rate dropped by 0.3%, much better than expected. So the CAD position looking really, really good here. I don't know where the price is, but it's okay. I don't have to watch this one. I don't have to babysit CAD because I've got everything taken care of. I've got my stop in, it's snugged up, the right position sizing. I don't have to sit there and babysit and watch my CAD trade because it's already taken care of. Okay, so again, we got initial move down in dollar. As I said, I'm a little wary that there's not really going to be a follow-through. And you can see, had we had this order out there, we would have been filled, which would be fine. But I'm just going to wait, like I said, just a little bit more because I don't want to get into a position that basically has already spent all of its energy and probably would have a little bit of a bounce back up to the upside. So let's go back and just check out what's going on in the world again. Dollar is now the weakest currency. Dollar is absolutely the weakest currency here. So we do have weak dollar. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and make this order live. Meaning that if it does get down to that level, it is going to get filled. All right. So that order is live. So that is a sell stop at 108.15 with a buy stop of 108.33. So that is an 18 pip stop. 18 pip stop on that one. And again, if it comes down to this point, it'll get filled. If it doesn't, then it just didn't have the follow through. And like I said, I'm really concerned about things having follow through in this trading environment. So for those of you that again are looking at CAD, obviously dollar CAD was the trade of the day. We've got CAD strengthening, dollar weakening. This was the trade, so 133.50. Yeah, once it broke down, 133.45. It's looking good here. So look, if you are looking for a trade to get in, dollar CAD is right now probably what you're looking for. If you weren't already in some trades, I think dollar CAD is likely to be the biggest mover from here on out. So if you're looking for, okay, where are we going to go for the rest of the day? And you're looking for where is the energy? There's no question, dollar CAD is where the energy is at the moment. So this really, I've already got some positions on, so I'm going to be focusing on what I'm focusing on. But if you're looking to make a new trade today, dollar CAD to me looks like the obvious choice. So the question is just now at this point, where is your entry? Where's your entry going to be, and how are you going to manage it? It's a little bit extended to the downside. I think you do have to wait for some sort of bounce or base here at this moment. But all right, so back to dollar yen. Dollar yen did just get filled. All right, so we are filled for dollar yen as well. So that was filled at 108.15, and you can see we're finally getting a little bit of follow through. Now, I would love to see this bottom of this little trend line break, which we're starting to see at this moment. So we are seeing some downside here as well. All right, as I said, this is where I know that my first couple years, I basically would cancel all my plans for the rest of the day. I wouldn't talk to my wife for the rest of the day because I'd be screen watching. And look, I understand that's fine. It's as a newer trader, that's what you're going to do. I could try to tell you don't do that. You're going to do it anyway. But look, you can screen watch, but I say that's for entertainment purposes only. It's for entertainment purposes only. There is really nothing you should do outside of follow your plan. And so again, for me, my rules are that I'm going to wait until I have an amount equal to my profit, equal to my stop and profit. So on this one, I had an 18 pip stop. I got in at 108.15. So at 107.97 is the first time I'm going to be able to act. And the action is going to be to move my stop to break even. Now, this is a trade on Friday. I'm not going to hold this trade over the weekend. And so I'm going to be exiting this trade today. So I'm going to be using a very quick trailing stop, most likely a parabolic SAR. Parabolic SAR is what I'm going to be using. That seems to be the quickest exit. So I'm going to be using that for exits on both positions. I definitely do not want to hold a short yen position over the weekend. So I'm absolutely going to be getting out of CAD yen as well. Right, so we are finally getting a little bit of follow through in dollar trades. So again, dollar short, definitely been the place to be. We are getting a little bit of fading here on CAD. CAD is not having the follow through that I was hoping for. But again, this is trading. This is where you basically do your research, you take your bets. Everything was looking good. We got this really good employment report. We got the price action we wanted, but in the end, there wasn't enough follow through on CAD. This trade still might turn out to be okay, but we're definitely not getting what I call a runner. A runner is pretty nice. And right now, if we go back to dollar yen is looking more like a runner than CAD is. So dollar short looking a little bit better. All right, instead of just sitting here and talking, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If you guys have any questions, you know my email. Please send them to me. We'll be sending out trade alerts on what we're doing on these, but it's going to be pretty standard. These are trades on Friday, not trades we're looking to hold over the weekend. So once we get a profit equal to our risk, again, we're going to snug up to break even, and then we're going to use a really aggressive trailing stop from that point forward. All right, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Take care. Checking back in on our trades, a couple things have happened. The CAD completely failed on the breakout. You can see there was really just no break. Yeah, there was a breakout, but it failed miserably. So with our double, well, not our double up, but we took a full position on the breakout, move our stop up. We were stopped out for a total of 13 pips on a loss. So negative 13 on CAD yen. The good news is our dollar yen is doing really, really well. So we've got a nice little profit here. So we got in at 108.15. It's all the way down to 107.90. So we got a 25 pip profit. And at this point, we have moved our stop all the way down to break even. So at this point on this trade, we're going to be looking at least a zero, if not something better. As I mentioned earlier, this is a Friday, so we will be exiting by the end of the day. One of the difficult things on trades like this on a Friday is that we at Maverick, we always like to use non-discretionary exit points. And what I mean by that, a discretionary exit point is when you decide when you should get out based on what you see in front of you. The market is really good at pushing you to do the wrong thing at those moments. And so we want to tie everything to price. And one of our favorite strategies is to tie it to indicators. You know, hey, if it goes above 20 moving average, do this. If it goes below this or above this. My favorite for a very short-term exit is parabolic SAR, which are these little dots here. It's one of the trend indicators we use. The parabolic SAR, it will start falling pretty quickly. The problem is, will it get all the way down below our stop right now at 108.15 and help us out at all by the end of the day? I mean, we have 8 hours until the market closes, and so the big question is, are we even going to be able to use that as a stop point? And my answer is probably not. And so this is where, again, people fall into the trap of saying, well, then why don't I just decide when to do it? The problem is we're wired terribly as human beings to make that decision. That's one of the things that we talk about at Maverick, is that that decision is we're so hardwired to screw that decision up. So we like to just take that decision completely out of it and be very mechanical. The problem is a lot of the mechanics we use, we can't use them here on this trade. So what do? Well, guess what we do? We always just stick to our rules. We stick to our rules, and we say, okay, well, we're going to stick with it. If the parabolic SAR does get down below there, then we'll go ahead and move it down. Wow, we can see the dollars here having a little bit of a run up to our stop. We'll see what happens here. All right. Again, if it failed up there, look, this trade might work, might not. What I'm saying is, by the end of the day, I'm going to leave it. If the parabolic SAR does end up getting down below our 108.15 stop, then I'll start using that as my trailing stop amount. But until that happens, then I'm just going to leave my stop or break even, and then I'm not going to hold this trade over the weekend, so I will be exiting at the end of the day. Now, again, that's what I call a time stop. A time stop is where you have a time that's your stop. Not a price, it's your time. So we will be having a time stop by the end of the day if we, again, are still in this position. All right, we'll check back in later on this trade. All right, hey, we're checking back in on the trade about an hour and a half later. And as you can see, not much has happened. The currency pair is just hanging out here at 108. But what has happened is you can see that our parabolic SAR has started to make its way down to where we can now start using this as a trailing stop. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop my stop a little bit, right down here to basically 108.12 about. And at this point, we're just going to follow this parabolic SAR down. And as long as the currency pair stays below it, look, we'll stay in it until we have to close it out at the end of the day. But until then, we'll just stay in it. And if it bounces up, knocks us out, we'll just have a small gain at this point. So again, rules-based trading, we just follow the rules, follow the system. And what happens is over time, we're end up going to get a couple of nice runners. We're going to get some that just keep going and going and going and going, and we're just lowering our stop and making more and more. So again, the whole thing is losses are small, gains are large. All right, we'll check back in on this thing when we have some more activity. All right, just checking back in to finish this trade off. As you can see, we did bounce back above the parabolic SAR, so right around 108.10. So I think the total gain on this was a whopping 4 pips. So again, this is where we didn't see any follow through. If we got follow through, we would have had a really good return. We locked in break even, then we locked in a little bit of gains. And as I said, we let the currency pair make the exit decision. If it wasn't going to go for us, we got out. So this was the US dollar yen trade from the May payroll report. Thanks for joining me. Bye.